Hi! Today, we'll discuss a topic that will surely interest you. One that your history teacher would probably love to listen to. Let's look at how an ancient civilization and one of its citizens taught us how to be financially responsible and independent. Indeed, a lesson for the ages. One of the most oldest cultures with the most riches is known to be Babylon. It takes pride in its superior engineering, agriculture, and gold. But before it reached its glitzy zenith, Babylon was nothing more than junk. There was no hint of its majesty. Maybe it was simply fortunate to have arable land along a river, or perhaps these two things were all it needed to become wealthy. This wealth surge is because what Babylon lacked in resources made up for talent. Their arts, trade, and engineering skills carve a path for Babylon to become the wealthy metropolis famously known in history books. But like every city, Babylon's neighborhoods were split into affluent and poor. Some of its citizens have magnificent chariots to flaunt their status, while others toil laboriously with little to no pay to build these chariots. One of these diligent workers is a man by the name of Arcad. The work of Arcad, a scribe who worked long hours every day for little pay, was to inscribe texts and records onto clay tablets. He was also a devoted father and family man. His day-to-day earnings were not enough to cover their costs. He had no idea that a chance meeting with a guy named Algamish would alter his perspective on life forever. Algamish was a rich moneylender who asked Arcad for his services on clay tablets. Arcad thought that perhaps, just perhaps, he might extract some secrets and advice from the wealthy moneylender. And so, he indulged Arcad's questions and taught him the proper ways of saving, budgeting, and investing. It wasn't too long before Algamish became a mentor to Arcad on financial matters. Arcad made mistakes, but as the proverb goes, learning is a process that includes making mistakes. One such instance is when he handed over his funds to a brickmaster, only to discover that the brickmaster was embezzled with fake gems by the Phoenicians, losing his savings in the process. Another instance was when instead of investing his money, he hosted a grand feast and bought expensive gifts. There's nothing wrong with splurging a little, but when it's beyond your means, this will pose a problem in the future. Arcad knew this and stopped making the same mistakes. This drew the attention of Algamish and he saw his potential. He was proud of Arcad and what he had achieved that when he grew old, he partnered with Arcad to manage his properties. Arcad, with the plethora of knowledge in his arsenal, managed to multiply Algamish's wealth even more. On his deathbed, Algamish's final will was to share all of his wealth with Arcad. Arcad's story is a story of true success. When he became one of Babylon's wealthiest men, the king asked him to share his knowledge with the common folk. The once curious Arcad was now the teacher. Becoming a teacher is a fantastic feat, as one of the measures of success is that when a method you've been doing has been working wonders in your life and you taught it to somebody else which has also worked wonders for them, then you've succeeded. Let's list Arcad's lessons one by one and learn how we can apply this in our modern day-to-day lives. Algamish's first lesson to Arcad is to save money. Sure, that's easier said than done. And we've heard that being told so many times by different people. But Algamish said it best. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. So how much do we keep for ourselves, you ask? Only a measly 10%. Let's be realistic. You would spend a vast amount of your income on meals, bills, clothes, and 100 other things you want to pay for. So that 10% may be small, but in the long term, it will continue to grow and grow. Think of it this way. You're planting a seed in your wallet, a 10% seed. You keep adding and adding to that tiny seed, and over the years, that seed would grow into a vast money tree where you can enjoy the fruits of your labor proudly and responsibly. So, those $100 you earn every half month, take $10 off and put it in your wallet or savings. When you make your second month's paycheck, you will already have $20. Keep on doing this for the whole year, and voila! You already have $240 at the end of the year. That is something to be proud of because your wallet or savings didn't go empty for the whole year. The next lesson Algamish taught Arkad was budgeting. This lesson ties to the previous lesson on saving. So, remember when I told you that most of your income would probably go to expenses like meals, bills, clothes, and things you want to pay for? Meals and bills are things you need to pay to survive. But wants are different from needs. You have to make that distinction because not everything you buy is something you need now. The lesson here is to control your spending. Make sure that your expenses should always go to that 90% window. The earliest thing you can do is to list down all the items you need, tally their cost, and if it's less than 90% of your expenses, then you're good. Whatever remaining money can either be for your wants or, better yet, add to your savings. But what if it costs greater than 90%? Well, it would be time to make a little sacrifice. Cross out any items you think you don't need and recompute until it matches your 90%. You might also argue that some items are non-negotiable and can't be taken off the list. So what do you do then? You find cheaper alternatives. The market is close to saturated with many products, and a little bit of research along the way on a product that works just as well as its expensive counterpart could help you budget. What's a non-negotiable in this regard is not to spend any of your savings. The third lesson Arkad learned from Algamish is investing. Remember when I told you that you're planting a seed and growing a tree when saving? If that tree doesn't produce more trees, it's not earning you anything. What if you could plant a whole row of trees and earn from them? That's the principle behind investing. You're making the money work for you instead of the other way around. Algamish said it best. Every piece of gold you earn is a slave to work for you. Every copper it earns is its child that can also earn from you. Whatever your investments earn, whether big or small, will add to your wallet even when you choose to bum around or relax. However, investing is not as easy as just putting money and expecting it to earn for you. Choosing your investments wisely is a must. With this, the riches of Babylon teaches us to guard our treasures and follow the 5 laws of gold. The first law states that gold comes to people who always save a tenth of their earnings from securing their family's future. This is where our first lesson on saving comes in. The second law states that gold is eager to work for you when it is invested in the right opportunities. So remember to invest wisely. The third law states that gold clings to its owner who carefully takes the advice of wise men. This is how Arkad managed to get out of his predicament and live a successful life by seeking wisdom from Algamish. The fourth law states that gold slips away from a person who invests in businesses or purposes with which he is unfamiliar. We've seen this in Arkad's first handling of his investments with a brick maker. If he had lent his pieces of jewelry to a jewelry expert, then he wouldn't have been fooled by the Phoenicians with fake gems. The fifth law states that gold flies away from a person who trusts investments that promise impossible great earnings or believes in tricksters and schemers' advice. This greatly ties into what I said in the fourth law, where not everything that shines is gold. If it's too good to believe, then best not to believe it. You must have known by now that investing poses risks to your money. You should expect risks from investment. So be wary of people promising your investments to be double or triple in weeks or a few months. More often than not, they will scam you. Algamish put it best. A small return and a safe one is better than a risky one. Remember to keep your principal investment at low risk and to protect it at all costs. Be wise when saving and be wiser all the more when investing. So you have savings, know how to budget, and are secure with your investments. What's the next step? The fourth lesson is to build your own house. And to do that means you have to put yourself in debt. What I mean by this is to apply for a house loan. Once the bank and other money lending firms see that you're secure with your income streams, they will easily lend you the money you need to build your home. You might say that your savings are not enough to pay the house in full. But who said you needed to wait for that? Owning your house will take years if you only count on your savings. You don't need to rent an apartment or a home. Instead, use that rental money to pay for the house loan. Remember, this is making your money work for you, and building a house early on is one of the wisest investments you can make, considering if you have a family or plan to have one in the future. Speaking of future family plans, the next lesson is securing your own and your family's future. Nothing is certain in this world, and that's a fact we have to learn to accept early on. This will be sickness and disease, accidents, and even old age that will hamper your ability to work. If things get worse, knock on wood it won't, you should have enough money to do the work. One wise way tied to the previous lesson is to start buying a house if you can afford it. What comes with a house is also a land. Now, the land is more significant because it increases in value over time. You can sell any of these properties at a considerable price, or even better, have it leased or rented to acquire passive income. Another way is to invest in life insurance or the stock market. The best way to secure your family is to pass on any of your financial knowledge to your children. That way, even at a young age, they would learn the value of money and the value of making it work for them in the years to come. Lesson 6 may sound the easiest, yet it is the hardest to apply. This is where the actual test of patience is. To keep learning. It's not enough for you to settle on whatever knowledge you may have right now, as learnings improve over the years with studies and research. So hone your craft. Be like a sponge and absorb whatever new skills or learnings come your way. Knowledge is power in the right circumstances and can also be one of the most significant investments in your life. Take that opportunity to grow and learn from your failures or successes. Experience is the best teacher you can have. Therefore, bank on those experiences. If you're still here watching this video, I'll let you know more secrets from the book. Number 1. Action is your best friend if you want to become wealthy. All the wisdom passed down is useless if it is not put into practice. Number 2. Get some very good pals along the road. Pick those that adhere live by the wisdom of wealth. You will need assistance at some point, so it's best to accept it from someone you already have faith in. Number 3. When the body needs your assistance, do so without placing an undue load on yourself. Always be wary. Number 4. Don't keep borrowing to pay off your debts if you anticipate having a lot of outstanding bills in the future. Number 5. You must decide to seize your fair share of life's blessings. That's all for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.